Is Auburn primed for a great season?
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
We're doing good. We're getting closer to football, man.
Yes,
little closer.
Little closer, 100 and something days. The NFL draft just got finished up this last week. Auburn didn't have a great showing, but it kind of shows what this program has been the last few years and what Hugh Freeze inherited from Brian Harsin. We'll get more into that here in a second. But before we jump into things, Josh, just want to remind our viewers, make sure to use our affiliate link below to get your Auburn gear from Fanatics. Helps us out a little bit. We greatly appreciate it. But Josh, let's go ahead and jump right into things. So, heading into Hugh Freeze's third season, where does Auburn really kind of stand?
Right now, I feel like Auburn is in a do or die standing situation. I feel like if Hugh Freeze has another down year after recruiting so well, his seat is going to be on fire. The coaching staff is going to be on fire. And again, this is just a do or die situation season, in my opinion. The fans are ready to see the improvement. The players deserve the improvement on the field. Right now, I'd say we according to if I'm looking back to last year, I don't seem super optimistic about the season. Obviously, I'm going to get the sunshine pumper into me once we get closer to the season. I'm going to get real hyped about the season. But right now, I'm a little more in my more realistic phase, and I think Auburn's at the very best right now. Auburn's middle of the pack,
Which is, I mean, honestly, middle of the pack is something that I would take in the SEC right now, especially after the last few years. And I feel like it's kind of it's selling my fandom short to say that. But I mean, we've just been down the dumps for so long. There was one player from the Brian Harsin era that got drafted this last weekend, Josh. One player, and that was Jarquez Hunter, who was drafted in the fourth round, which is a steal and a half. Let's just be honest, okay? Because he deserved to go a little bit higher than that, probably the second or third round. But that just one player. That is just abysmal. Now, like you pointed out, heading into the season, the closer we get, I'm probably going to book a little bit as well. But there's some preseason polls that has Auburn in the top 20. Some even have them in the top 15. Now, Auburn has been recruiting very well, and Hugh Freeze has really put us in a really good spot, I feel like, to handle this season and to make it big. We're right now in some of the preseason polls, we have like 2 or 3 ranked opponents this year. Okay. So the schedule is setting up for Auburn to have a huge season and for Hugh Freeze to be able to really just turn this whole thing around, because production not on the field is going to be an issue in recruiting if we do not do something this season.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta show the production on the field to these players you're trying to sell your program to. Obviously, we saw the production, especially later towards the season, in Cam Coleman and his ability on the field. We're seeing some production from Perry Thompson in the preseason this season, and we saw a glimpse of what Malcolm Simmons could do on the field last year as well. So, I mean, you definitely have to be able to put your product on the field to showcase to these recruits of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to build and how they and the school can benefit from them coming to Auburn. So, I mean, if you can't do that, then your recruiting numbers are going to falter. You're not going to have the same success that you've had on the recruiting trail if you cannot produce what you're trying to sell.
You would think that that's the case. It's only a matter of time before success on the field has a greater impact on the recruiting trail, because right now we've turned in two top 10 recruiting efforts since Hugh Freeze has gotten on the planes. And so really, I think there was some poll, and I heard somewhere that Auburn has the 5th most returning production in the country right now.
Hmm.
And fortunately, we're fourth in the SEC in that regards. So it doesn't get any easier, but we have a lot of production returning. And a lot of the production is young players that were freshmen last year. And so we should have a big step up from those guys, and we should see an increase in more freshmen this year. So with that being said, in your opinion, has Freeze built this program the right way right now through high school recruiting versus using the transfer portal? We've seen a lot of coaches have success in the transfer portal, none on the national playoff scale, really, for the most part. But one that comes to mind is what's been going on at Ole Miss, and it just seems year in and year out they're in the discussion at the very least. And then all of the starting quarterbacks last year in the playoffs were transfers from other schools. So that is one way you can build a program. But Hugh Freeze has kind of been doing it through high school recruiting and then filling hole with the transfer portal. What is your opinion on this? Do you think he's done it the right way?
So I actually do think he's done it the right way. When you come into such a dumpster fire that Hugh Freeze came into and look at Auburn's recruiting, Hugh Freeze's first year as a recruiting head coach for Auburn, he went through the portal. He took us from like the 75th ranked recruiting class up to the 20s, I believe. It was a work of art, and that all came through the transfer portal. And his second season is mainly high school students, and then you get guys like Keandre Lambert-Smith that come in and just tear it up. So he's taken pieces from the transfer portal, but mainly recruiting from high school. So I look at it like this: I look at Hugh Freeze's tenure at Auburn so far as a crowdfunding project. So his first year, he had a concept of what he wanted to do. He was selling the concept. He got people to buy in on the concept. His second season, when we all saw the amazing recruiting class that we had, he had a visual prototype that he was selling. And this year, I'm looking for him to have a working prototype to sell for the future. So if he can get this prototype working, then he's gonna continue to the success on the recruiting trail and continue to build the Auburn program the way that he wants to and the way that he envisions to. So I absolutely do believe Hugh Freeze has recruited Auburn the correct way.
Yeah, I mean, right now I agree with you. And I need to see the players on the field step up, but at the same time, I don't know if that's my biggest concern is talent. Last year we had a very talented team and it underperformed, but it kind of felt like that was the coaching staff's fault. So what is the coaching staff this year, who is 99% the same coaching staff as last year? What do they need to do to make this a successful season in your eyes?
They need to stop acting like Gus Malzahn and refusing to change what they believe should work when it isn't working. I feel like if they can do that and they can just fall on their sword for a little bit and listen and learn and watch and adapt, then I think there's going to be a lot of success on the field. I believe last year there's a lot of new coaches that came in and they're trying to find their feeding and find their bearings. And we all saw what could be in the Texas A&M game, right? Texas A&M was not a bad team, but Auburn seemed to be firing on all cylinders, doing everything the coaches wanted them to be doing, and the players were executing their plays for the most part. So we saw what could be when everything is working harmoniously. And if we can get that down to where we're doing it multiple times in the season instead of just one big game, then that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to change. Is everybody working together instead of butting heads like they did last year.
Yeah, you got to feel like last year you heard Hugh Freeze say, in the Kentucky game, he had to resist the urge to pass the ball and to just let Jarquez in that running game eat. And it's one of those things to where like it kind of feels like they knew that Jarquez was great. He has already said that Jarquez was the best running back he has seen. And so it goes against what Hugh Freeze wanted to do on offense, was just primarily run the ball. And so they were trying to be, again, for the second year in a row, a team that they are not. And I think now he has brought in Jackson Arnold, who is a former 5-star plus quarterback and prospect out of high school. and is giving him the same offense he ran at Oklahoma his freshman year whenever he looked as good as he looked. And Jackson Arnold in an RPO situation looked really good. Now, can he take that next step and make the right reads every time? I sure hope so. But this coaching staff, it looks like we're going to be emphasizing the run a lot less this year than what we have. And we really don't have that number one cowbell back that we feel like we have to feed the ball to. He has no obligation to that, it seems like. And so he's brought in the weapons at wide receiver to throw this ball and to throw it the way that he wants to throw it. And so I think Jackson Arnold has everything in place, and the coaching staff can put him in the right position to make this a huge season. I mean, Josh, I'm trying to not be completely booging here, but 9 wins is not out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, that's what I said last year, and we kind of fell on our faces. But we had Peyton Thorne back there, and that's the hill that Hugh Freeze wanted to die on. So I'm glad we got over that hill, and we do have a guy like Jackson Arnold and a 5-star freshman in Deuce Knight. I think 9 wins is definitely within the realm of possibility as well. I don't think it's too far to think that we could get there.
Yeah, no. But the thing is on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like we have a lot of faith in what the coaches have wanted to do. They've had a concept, and so far it's working. Last year we had a lot of issues at times because a lot of our players were young freshmen. But at the same time, they were putting them in the perfect position to succeed. And the only times they did not succeed is when they fell out of that position, when they stopped following their assignments and started playing a little less composed. And so it should be a huge step on the defensive side, I feel like. And the offensive side is where things have to get better. And the coaching staff has to put these players in a better position to succeed, because that's what it comes down to this year. Now, on top of that, I think the coaching staff and Hugh Freeze has brought in a kicking game all the way around that they feel a lot more comfortable with. And not only do they feel comfortable with what they have, but they have added backup players. They have added 2 or 3 deep on special teams that I feel like they're going to feel a lot more comfortable in, if we're on the 35, 40-yard line to kick a field goal, which 3 points changes the game, okay? Ending that drive without points versus getting 3 points and then kicking off to the other team is huge, Josh. It's a momentum shift. It can be a momentum shift. And it's also just about putting points up and putting points on the board. A lot of the problems last year stemmed from not being able to finish drives of points, and having faith in your special teams is going to go a long way. And hopefully Alex McPherson is in a good spot to where he can play a lot this year. But if he's not, they brought in players that can kick the ball through the uprights and us not have to rely on an unproven freshman who I'm sure is going to be good down the line.
I just think he had the yips, man. He was not coming in expecting to be the starting kicker. And then Alex McPherson's situation was way worse than anyone thought. And Towns was just like, okay, here we go. I may not be ready for this, but this is what I signed up for. So I have all the faith in Auburn's kicking game. I think Alex McPherson, he's been very optimistic and positive on social media. Towns Magoo has not been going out talking bad about Auburn and his situation and shit. So I think everyone is in the right headspace. And forgive me, I don't remember our new punter's name at all, the Australian fella. But he seems to be loving his time in Auburn and is making a lot of videos with a lot of the players. And so, again, I just have every confidence in the world in our kicking game. I'm not shaken from last year at all.
Yeah. But the thing is what I'm getting at is the coaching staff seems to have done everything on paper to make this a successful season.
Yeah.
And hopefully that paper translates into wins, because that's what this Auburn fan base needs. It's what we want. And it's what we deserve, to be flat out honest, Josh.
I agree. I hate taking a page out of the Raiders book. I hate the Raiders, but at this point, it's just win, baby. Just win.
Yep. Well, Josh, again, want to remind everybody, use our link below, the affiliate link. Go ahead and click on that to go to fanatics.com to buy all your Auburn gear. Helps us out tremendously. We greatly appreciate everything that you guys do. And Josh, Here's to a good season. War Eagle, baby.
War damn Eagle, son.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the